Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Creative English class of Kiran. Here I am back with another episode, and this episode is really at the demand of my viewers. In my last episode, I had spoken about common Indian English errors. A lot of you have appreciated it and asked for more such. And so here I am with some more common English mistakes, not necessarily Indian, they could be happening the world over. The first error that I take up is that of pronoun disagreement. Most common grammar mistakes are pronoun errors, and they occur when pronouns do not agree in number with the nouns to which they refer. Please understand, if your noun is singular, the pronoun should be singular too. And if your subject noun is plural, the pronoun should be plural as well. Take this example. Every girl must bring their own lunch. No, every girl is singular, and so it should be every girl must bring her own lunch. Or take this example. When a person first enters this department, they feel overwhelmed by the crowd of people. A person is singular, and that person could be a man or a woman. So you write they? No. You will say when a person first enters this department, he or she might feel overwhelmed by the crowd of people. Then the second mistake is that of pronoun misplacement. There has to be clarity in your sentences. You should not leave any room for ambiguity or misinterpretation. Take a classic example. The yoga teacher tells you, take a deep breath through your nose and hold it. Now, what is it? Am I supposed to hold my nose or am I supposed to hold my breath? Obviously, my breath. So, please, the sentence has to be clear. Take a deep breath through your nose and hold your breath. Then, another mistake is that of no clear antecedent. Antecedent is the word that comes before a pronoun and helps the reader understand what the pronoun means. Take this example. The dad found the boy and he was happy. Now, who was happy? The dad or the boy? Obviously, the dad, because he'd found his missing son. So, you should say, the dad was happy when he found the boy. Or the dad found the boy and the father was happy, or the dad was happy. Well, here you will have to repeat it twice. And I think that's what you were trying to avoid, repeating the word dad. And so you wrote he. But then that's what creates the confusion. Now, this reminds me of a joke. Once a woman said to her husband, if you are going to the supermarket, get me a pack of milk. And if there are eggs, get me a dozen. The husband returned home with a dozen packs of milk. She says, I had asked you to get one. He said, you said that if you're going to the supermarket, get me a pack of milk. And if there are eggs, then get me a dozen. And there were eggs. So there were eggs, so I got you a dozen packs of milk. She didn't say that if there are eggs, get me a dozen of those eggs. So that clarity has to be there in your sentences. Then, taking up more such mistakes, comparisons that are incomplete. It's not correct to say, oh, my hair is smoother and softer. Compared to what? My hair is smoother and softer than it was a month ago. You say, the price of this mobile phone is higher. Higher than what? The price of this mobile phone is higher than that of yours. And then you say, this is better or even better. But then, if this is better or even better, than what? You have to compare it to something. So, when you use these comparative words, better, higher, sooner, you have to compare it with something. So, please bring that thing into the picture too. Then, coming to another mistake that we make, we don't know where to use fewer and where to use less. So, you have to just remember one thing. If you are talking about the amount of something, you need to decide whether the item is one thing or a group of many things. If it is a group of many smaller things, then you should use fewer. If it is one thing, you should use less. So, noise is one abstract noun. Make less noise. But there are students in the class. So you say there are fewer students present in the class today than there were yesterday. Now, another typical way of speaking, at least in India, I've noticed, you say that only, for stress. Uh, that is a way of emphasizing what the speaker has already said. Somebody says, she is very arrogant. You say, yeah, that only. She is very arrogant. That is coming from your native language when you say, हाँ यही तो मैं भी कह रहा था. I was saying that only. Now that is not correct. Uh, you should say, that is exactly what I said, or that is exactly what I was saying. She is very arrogant. Then another sentence that you say is, what is the time in your watch? This comes from Hindi. आपकी घड़ी में क्या time है? But the English of this is, what is the time by your watch? Then coming to stating your preferences. I prefer coffee than tea. No, you don't compare coffee to tea. When you are preferring one thing over another, then you say, I prefer coffee to tea. Prefer is always followed by the preposition to. Then one very, very common mistake is IT apostrophe S and ITS. It's and it's. Well, they both sound the same. But look at this. The spider spun its web. It's a very beautiful web. Now, where will it be ITS and where will it be IT apostrophe S? It should be the spider spun ITS web. IT apostrophe S is a very beautiful web. Simple. IT apostrophe S is a contracted form of it is, and ITS is to show possession. So, if you are not sure what to use when it comes to IT apostrophe S and ITS, you simply try this. Instead of writing IT apostrophe S, try writing it is or it has. Does that fit? So, for example, you say the spider spun it is web. No, that's not correct. So you'll say the spider spun its web minus the apostrophe, and there the clarity will come to you. Then another mistake that people make, very typically, they say, I have a good news for you. मैं तुम्हारे लिए एक खुशखबरी लाया हूँ. No, in English it doesn't work. You say, I have good news for you, or I have some good news for you. Another way of talking is, there's no place here. When you're falling short of space, you say, there's no place here. No. Proper English would be, there is no more room left. There's no room here. And then, I'll gladly avail of your offer. You don't avail of something, you gladly avail yourself of something. So, I'll gladly avail myself of your offer. Now, he asked me that, and then you put a question word there. That won't work. With who, what, where, when, why, how. You do not use the relative pronoun that. He asked me why I had not gone to the party. He asked me where I had gone. He asked me when I would come back. Here, the relative pronoun that will not come. Okay. Another way of talking that is pretty common here is, those who are absent, I shall punish them. Again, originating from your mother language, you're translating that. जो लोग absent हैं, उनको punish किया जाएगा. No, this is misplacement. The word order is not correct. It should be, I shall punish those who are absent. So you will have to frame your sentences properly. Now, with texting, with chatting, with SMSing, a new kind of lingo has got on. And in this lingo, the text lingo, people use dot, 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 and it goes on and on and on. What are you trying to communicate through that? Well, in the proper English language, three dots is called an epilepsis. And sorry, it's called an ellipsis. And ellipsis is just three dots. And it should be treated as a three-letter word with space, a dot, space, a dot, space, a dot, space, and then you can put a full stop. And what does it indicate? Three dots, an ellipsis indicates the omission of words or an incomplete thought or an incomplete sentence. You leave it to the imagination or you don't feel like writing the whole sentence. So you have to just imagine the rest. And well, so many dots, they don't make much sense. Then another line that you must have heard or read in many places, particularly in establishments: first come, first serve. Now, hello, that doesn't really make sense. First come, you come first, and then you first serve others. Is that what you mean? No, it should be first come, first served. If you come first, you'll be served the first. So please get that straight. First come, first served. And then people say, well, if worse comes to worse, are they just eating up the last tea? Because if worse comes to worse, then it's right there. It has to move to the next level. If worse comes to worst, WORST, that makes sense. Now, here is something very, very interesting, and I don't think you've paid attention to it before. Every day in one word as against every day. Every one word, day, another word. Look at this. He starts work every day at 8 a.m. Every day, one word. That's wrong. The correct word here should be, he starts work every one word, day, another word, at 8 a.m. You see, every day as one word is an adjective describing something very common. I mean, this is an everyday happening. This is an everyday occurrence. This is an everyday feature. You know, it's synonymous to a daily feature. So, every day then becomes one word. But every and day with the space is an adverbial phrase that means each day. So if you can replace that every and day as two separate words with any of the days of the week, then you know that you've got it right. So if I say he comes every separate day separate at 8 a.m., or he comes um, every Monday at 8 a.m., he comes every Tuesday at 8 a.m. So there it'll be making sense. Uh, I hope it's clear to you. If it isn't, I'll put this in the text below in this video tube. So then if you read it, the clarity will come. Then another usage, and the last one that I'm taking, because I try to keep my videos short so that you can take in just this much at one time. Otherwise, it'll get all too complicated for you. Uh, I versus me. The marketing manager told Riley and I to talk with her. No, the marketing manager told Riley and me to talk with her. I is subject when you are doing the action. I went there. I gave him the book. But when the action is coming on you, then it becomes an object pronoun, and that's me. So I took the dog to the store, or the dog followed me to the store. So in the second sentence, it's the dog that's doing the walking, following. And following who? You are the object pronoun. The dog followed me. He didn't follow I. Well, I hope that's clear. If you have any doubts, any further questions to ask, leave them in the comments below. If you have appreciated this video, do let me know what is it that you'd like me to take up in the next video. I'd like to know that too. Some people have even asked me to take up my subsequent video lessons on English pronunciation. I will be doing that. Stay tuned for my future episodes. Signing off with good wishes, loadies of love and luck, your English friend, Kiran.